Hi children, how are you? Welcome back to our digital class in English. I know you are eagerly waiting for our class in English. In the previous session you learnt about the drama PURU the Brave and enjoyed yourselves a lot. In today's session we are going to learn how a story could be developed out of the script of the drama we have written. Before going to construct the discourse of the story, better we once look at the objectives of this session. You will be able to make an effort to read and comprehend the text individually and collaboratively. Think on the drama you have read. Learn to use the unfamiliar words in the real life situations. Generate the major events depicted in the drama. Take turns and share the experiences with the major events of the drama. Write a story based on the major events of the drama. Edit and refine the draft of the story. Think of the major domains like syntax, morphology, punctuations and spelling while editing the discourse. Now children, let us watch this video and learn an interesting story. Now children, would you like to listen to an interesting story? Here is the picture of a story. Please go through the pictures and learn the story.
Good afternoon children, please sit down. How are you children? Oh, I am also very fine. I think you have been waiting for our digital class in English. Children, would you like to listen to a wonderful story in today's class? Shall we learn an interesting one in today's class? Interesting story in today's class? That's good. Fine. Do you find anything on the blackboard? Yes. You can find two pictures, two charts on the blackboard. Okay, on the first chart we have two beautiful pictures. Okay, with the help of these pictures, now we can learn an interesting story in English. Okay, children, here try to listen to me first. Once upon a time there was a king. His name was 𝗬𝗎. He was known to people far and wide. He was known to people far and wide. And the Queen 𝗬𝗎 came to know of his wisdom. She wanted to test the king's wisdom. One day, she decided to go to the king's court. She took with her two garlands in her hands and went to the king's court. She wanted to test the wisdom of the king. She asked, "Your Majesty, I have come to know that you are a great man. You are a very wise man. I would like to test your wisdom. Could you tell me which of these two garlands is the garland of real flowers?" The king was very happy, of course, to see the queen there, but he thought of for a while. He could not, of course, give the right answer then and there. Okay, then he thought for a while, and he keenly observed the two garlands in the hands of the queen. Okay.
Once upon a time there lived a king named 𝗬𝗎. He was known for his wisdom far and wide. The king's name and fame reached the Queen 𝗬𝗎 of Sundarnagar. She wanted to test the wisdom of the king. One day she went to the king's court with two garlands in her hands. One was made of real flowers, the other one was made of artificial flowers. The Queen 𝗬𝗎 asked the king to recognize the real flower garland without touching. The king observed keenly. There was a confusion for a few minutes. A bee came flying from somewhere and sat on one of the garlands. The king smiled and said how he identified the real one. The Queen 𝗬𝗎 was very much pleased with the king's wisdom. Children, you have watched the video. Now try to answer some more questions based on the video. Many of you have given the right answers. Let us think of them once again. What was the video about? It was about the story of the wise king. Who was the king in the story? 𝗬𝗎. Who do you think was the queen referred to in the story? The Queen 𝗬𝗎. Who wanted to test whom in the story? The Queen 𝗬𝗎 wanted to test 𝗬𝗎. What kind of a king was 𝗬𝗎? He was a very wise king. What did the Queen 𝗬𝗎 take with her to the king's court? Two garlands. One was of real flowers, the other one was made of artificial flowers. What did the Queen Sheba want the king to do with the garlands? How did the two garlands look? What did the king do with the garlands? Shall we think of their answers? What did the Queen Sheba want the king to do with the garlands? To identify the garlands of real flowers. How did the two garlands look? They looked alike. What did the king do with the garlands? He observed the garlands keenly. Did the king identify the real garland? Yes, he did. On which of the two garlands did a bee come flying? On the real garland. What do you think is the moral of the story? Wisdom needs keen observation. Children, now shall we look at the main events of the story and sit for the construction of the discourse of the story. Please read the input of the story and start constructing the discourse of the story.
How many groups do we have? 1, 2 and 3. We have 3 groups in our. Please take out your textbooks of English and keep them open at the lesson PURU the Brave. Then start reading. Pick out the main events of the story. Okay children, have you all read the story of PURU the Brave? Yeah, our lesson PURU the Brave is a drama. Now you have all read the drama by the title PURU the Brave. Now out of this drama, we have to construct one story. As all of you know, story is one of the major discourses we have. Okay, now shall I put some questions group wise? Yeah. Have you gone through any statement please? Could you tell one statement that you have figured out? What is, yeah, any statement. Yeah. What does she say? Alexander born was in. Is it a right statement? No. How can it be corrected?
Word formation is not correct, sir.
Yeah. Word formation is not correct. What she says? Come on.
Alexander was born in Greek.
Yeah. Alexander was born in Greece. Please give her claps.
Shall we go now for the main events in the drama? Alexander, the king of Macedonia, disciple of philosopher Aristotle, defeats many kings besides PURU the Brave, king of the northern India, wants to become world conqueror called Alexander the Great. A great battle between Alexander and PURU the Brave, the banks of the river Jhelum. PURU loses the battle. Despite generals and soldiers fight bravely, PURU lost because of his oldest methods of warfare and elephants. Alexander asks PURU, be his vassal, but refused. PURU kills hundreds of soldiers, gravely injured, chained in the battle. Alexander asks, remove PURU's chains and bring to him. Alexander asks, why rejected the offer? PURU said, lawful owner is kingdom. Alexander likes PURU's bravery and self-respect, becomes best friends. Children, here are the main events of the story and how the children are going to construct the story with the help of these main events that they have picked out from the story. At the same time, the 4 pictures given shall also help you to construct the discourse story. Now children, let me narrate the story. Once upon a time, there was a king. He lived in the kingdom of Greek. He was Alexander the Great. Alexander was born in Greek and he was the disciple of the greatest Greek philosopher Aristotle. Alexander defeated many kings besides PURU, became the world conqueror and was called Alexander the Great. PURU was a brave king and a great soldier of northern India. There was a great battle between Alexander and PURU on the banks of the river Jhelum. PURU lost the battle, though his generals and soldiers fought very bravely. PURU lost the battle as he had used the oldest methods of warfare and elephants. Alexander asked PURU to be his vassal, but he refused. PURU killed more than 100 soldiers, but he was gravely injured and chained in the battle. Alexander asked his general to remove the chains and bring PURU to him. Alexander asked Puru why he had rejected his offer. Puru said that he was the lawful owner of his kingdom. Alexander liked Puru's bravery and self-respect, so he became his best friend. Now children, sit for the construction of the discourse of the story, and before you construct the discourse of the story, better you look at the instructions given here. Expand each event in terms of the location where it takes place, the characters involved, and what they say, think or feel. At the same time, please think of the dialogues exchanged between the two characters here, the character of the king and also the character of another king or the other king, Puru the Brave, what they exchanged their dialogues, and think of some more features of this discourse as well. Write the first draft of it, edit and refine the draft. Here are the features of a story, please note them. Now let us come to the discourse indicators. These are the indicators to be followed while constructing the discourse. Please note them down. Sequencing of events and dialogues, evoking of sensory perceptions and emotions, images, setting and other details, use characterization, coherence and point of view. Now children, let us look at the story, how our children have constructed with the help of the main events that they have picked out from the script of the drama. Children, here out of the number of statements of main events that you have picked out, here are some 5 statements taken and at a random, not of course in a sequence. Children, please note these 5 statements given by some of your friends in the groups. Alexander born in was Greek. Of course, in all these statements there is something wrong with individual statement. Now we will be correcting them afterwards when we come to the process of editing. Here is the subtext prepared by the children. Now let me read them out. Alexander born in was Greek. Alexander defeated a lot of many kings besides Puru. Puru was loses the battle as he has used the oldest methods of warfare. Alexander said, Puru, why have you rejected your offer? Puru said that he was the lawful owner of his kingdom. Children, you have read the story so far. There is a lot of scope for making mistakes, especially in the domains of syntax, morphology, punctuations, tense aspect, PNG agreement, spelling and also capitalization. In all these 5 main events that you have picked out from the script of the drama, in individual statement we have some mistake lying with it. Let us go with all these mistakes. Is the word order proper in the first sentence? Are there any excess words in the sentence 2? Does the verb in sentence 6 have its proper form? Are there any words noticed in sentence 10 to use punctuation marks? Do all the words in the sentence 11 have proper spelling? Now children, think of the mistakes that were made in all these 5 statements and also think of correction of all those statements. Children, here are the words used by some groups, but they are not in the proper sequence. Here the words used by your friends are born in was, but how could it be corrected? Was born in. Here the statement might be Alexander was born in Greek, but you have written born in was. That is incorrect. Let us come to the second sentence. In sentence 2, a lot of many. These 2 words have been used, but you are not supposed to use the 2 words giving the same meaning. Let us go for its correction. You could use either a lot of or many, but do not go for the 2 words to use in the same sentence. Children, in the same way in sentence 6 also there are some mistakes. The mistakes are related to the form of the verb. Was losing, he has used. These are the incorrect expressions of the verb. They can be corrected as lost. Who lost here? Puru lost many battles as he has used. He has used is given, but he had used is to be written. Coming to the next sentence, in sentence 10, Alexander said, Puru, why have you rejected the offer? Of course, the mistake does not seem to be present outside, but when we get into the grammar aspect like direct speech, in the direct speech the speaker's details are here and also the exact words spoken by the speaker are also given, but there is something to do with them. Here we are supposed to use the punctuation marks. Children, look at the correct answer used against that statement number 10, said is to be followed by one comma, and the next part is to be begun with inverted commas looking mostly like 66 at the beginning and at the end of it like 99. Puru, why have you rejected your offer? Now it is correct. Coming to the next sentence, children, the last one. In sentence 11, lawful and owner, these might be the word that the children wanted to use, but unfortunately we can find no correct spelling in these two words. If the spellings are to be corrected, the spelling of the word lawful is LAWFUL, and coming to the next word with the incorrect spelling ONWER, this is not the spelling for owner, but for the spelling for the owner, the letters are here OWNER. Here Puru said that he was the lawful owner of his kingdom.
Alexander was born in Crete. Fine. Then defeated many kings. Correct. Okay, but don't use a lot of and many in the same sentence. They give the same meaning. You could use either a lot of or many, but we have used only one here. That's right. Okay. Now, who can correct the third statement, please?
Who lost the battle as he had used it?
Yeah. In the statement what they have picked out, there is something wrong with the statement, please. Was using is wrong. In its place we can say, yes, Alexander, Puru lost. Not Alexander here. Puru lost. In place of was losing, yes, lost. Yeah, battles. Yes, he lost the battles. Battles. As he had used the oldest methods of warfare. As he had used the oldest methods of warfare. Good. As he had used the oldest methods of warfare. Methods of warfare. That's good, children. Who can correct the fourth statement? Please come over and write. Your good name, please. Sakana is going to correct the fourth statement. Please look at her. Yeah. What is wrong with the statement, please? There is something wrong. She has not put the punctuation marks are not kept there. Yeah. Alexander asked Puru. Yes. Why have you? Why have you rejected your offer? Rejected the offer. Fine, okay, no problem. Yeah. Good. Please give her claps. Stop. Now, shall I call upon one more student from any group to correct the last statement, please? Yeah, come over and come with the spelling, please. Okay? Puru. Again, you are writing the same thing. Puru said. Good. Puru said that. Fine. Puru said that he was the what is the correction she has made here? Yes, they corrected the incorrect spelling in the word. Okay? Puru said that he was the lawful owner of his kingdom. The lawful owner of his kingdom. Okay? How nicely she has corrected the spelling. ADAYFULL is the wrong spelling for the word lawful. Here she has written a wonderful spelling for the word lawful. Fine. LAWFUL. So is the case with the second one, please. That's true. This is not the spelling for the word owner, but she has written a wonderful spelling for the word mistakes.
Okay, children. Now I am going to give you an assignment. Here are some input ideas supplied to you. The input supplied to you is needful, handful and mindful need not go for borrowing from anybody or any other source. You can make use of these hints and also develop them into a short story. Here is the input supplied to you. Please take down the input. Handsome prince. Hugo wanted to become king. His father died. Uncle becomes king. Family believes that he is not valiant. He wanted to prove, hunt a monster. Monster pulled a sack over its head, ties its shows to the king. Okay children, take the help of your teacher of English and try to complete the task given to you. By the time we meet the next time, we will of course take up the task of correction. Hope you have enjoyed the class yourselves. Bye children, bye.
Privacy refers to the degree of control that the person concerned has access to and use of his or her information. Internet privacy does not just refer to how you keep your data private online, but also to the accessibility for hackers to retrieve your information.
डेटा कुछ भी हो सकता है. डेटा आपके नाम से लेकर के आपका डेट ऑफ बर्थ, आपको क्या पसंद है क्या ना पसंद है, वो सारा कुछ डेटा है जिसका लोग यूज करते हैं या फिर मिसयूज करते हैं. आपने देखा होगा कि फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप फेसबुक आपने एक टैब में खोला है और अगले टैब पे आप अमेज़न खोलिए, अमेज़न पे आप कुछ सर्च कर रहे हैं. सो आप देखेंगे कि जब नेक्स्ट टाइम आप फिर फेसबुक पे जाएंगे तो